Imagine waking up in the middle of the night, hearing faint scratching sounds, but thinking it's just your imagination. What if I told you someone was living inside your walls, watching your every move? This is the true and terrifying story of Emily, a 22-year-old college student who thought she was living alone, but for weeks, she was unknowingly being watched. It started with small things, little details she could brush off. The kitchen light left on when she swore she turned it off. Her food disappearing faster than she remembered, and a strange, musty smell in her bedroom that refused to go away. Then came the noises. At first, just faint scratching, barely noticeable. Then, one night, around 2:45 a.m., she woke up to something different. A sound, slow, deliberate, coming from her air vent. Her heart pounded. Was it mice? The building settling? She stared at the vent, waiting, listening, but then nothing. The next morning, she shook it off. Maybe she was overthinking, but then she found something that made her stomach twist. Her cereal box, nearly empty, but she hadn't eaten it. Her hands trembled. Someone had been in her apartment. But how? Emily called maintenance, thinking it was a raccoon or maybe a broken air duct. A worker arrived. He grabbed a flashlight, unscrewed the vent cover, and then he froze. Inside was a small, dirty mattress, empty food wrappers, water bottles, and worst of all, a notebook. Page after page, covered in handwritten notes. Emily's name, her schedule, her conversations, even descriptions of how she slept. Then they checked the security footage. What they saw was worse than any nightmare. At night, he crawled out of the vents, standing in the darkness, watching Emily sleep. And then, before she could wake up, he disappeared back inside. That night, the police arrested him, a former maintenance worker, fired months ago, but he never left. Instead, he lived in the vents, moving through the walls, watching, waiting. Emily moved out the next day. She never set foot in that apartment again. But even now, she can't sleep without checking the vents. Because once you realize someone has been watching you, you never stop feeling watched. What if he was never really gone?